This film was supposed to be in New York City. Everybody be honest with me. Please at least do this for me in the comments. If you felt like if this movie gave you New York City vibes, just comment New York City vibes. If it did not give you New York City vibes, just comment Canada, because that's where the film was filmed. Greetings everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Horror Hive. Yo, everybody probably expected this video to come out from me already, but I was in no rush to put out this video simply because I really wanted to see what everybody else was saying before I put out the video, and it kind of just fueled my fire even more. And yeah, so as you can probably see by the thumbnail or the title, however I decided to end up doing it, once again, yo, Scream was an epic fail. And I don't understand how fans are running around here talking about they love Scream 6. It's probably the best one since the original, blah, 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 blah. Like, are y'all freaking kidding me? Are y'all kidding me? Once again, it goes back to my other videos like Ghostface not a villain, Richie and Amber the worst ghost faces ever, because once again this is proving that Scream is stab. It's stab. So now we're following the story of a stab fan, and everybody is accepting this. But I'm not going to start there. Let's start at the beginning of the film. Let's start at this epic opening scene the opening scene was so original. It was so epic. It was so this. It was so that. Now I understand the whole thing of it's 2023 and films have to evolve. And in slasher films, yeah, you got your dumb white girls. I'm just gonna say it like what it is. Everybody know how you do a slasher film. You got your dumb white girl that put herself in a dumb situation to do something. But how dumb can you be to be a college professor to leave the restaurant of a blind date from a person you ain't never seen, who's sitting there saying, hey, I'm waving down the alley, can you see me? And you like, no, let me walk deeper into the alley that I can clearly see the other end of to see if I can see you. Like I'm gonna get a better visual. Or like, come on, yo, how dumb can it be? It was just like a setup for a kill, which is kind of acceptable for a slasher film and even for Scream. However, when she still figured out dude wasn't in the alley, she's still staying in the alley, just still standing there. Get scared by something going on at the other end of the alley that she can see. Oh, now that she's scared, but she couldn't see the other end of the alley when he said he was waving there. She couldn't clearly see, hey, I need to go the other way because this dude tripping. To get stabbed, and then, yeah, you get your... This is where the original part came in, because the first slice, he even put the knife like they do it when the Scream pop up on the screen, and he sliced and all. But then we got like a still shot. A lot of people probably thought the film like froze or whatnot, but we got like a still shot because, you know, it was a shocker because it was different. We're going to continue on here. So we get a Ghostface reveal, which wasn't even really like a Ghostface reveal to me. And this don't even count as a Ghostface kill for real, because this had nothing to do with like the story or with the plot. It was just something that was kind of like forced that they put into the beginning of the movie. So old boy re-enters his apartment looking for his Ghostface buddy. So it's like, okay, dude must have been there when he left, or, you know, because like thing is, how long did they have this body to cut it up and put it in parts in the fridge? Like that takes a long time. I don't care what type of knife, what type of saw, what type of anything that you have. It takes a long time to cut a body up like that and to put it in a refrigerator. So how long was old boy really missing? Was you gone for an hour or two to go do this Ghostface kill and you came back and his body was cut up just that quickly? Like, come on, bruh. Like that whole opening scene was like something very forced. Yes, it was original. It was an original fail. It was way over the top. The dialogue wasn't good dialogue. Like it didn't even really feel like a Scream movie. It felt like I was watching somebody redo Scream on YouTube. Like, no, that wasn't it. So then it's like, I thought the whole point of Ghostface was to be coming after Samantha, right? So we sitting here, arguing with me because y'all already know how I feel about Sydney not being in the film. But we sitting here arguing about me over Samantha and everything, and then come to find out, like, Ghostface ain't even really touch Samantha. Like, you ain't even really bother her. Like, look at the Ghostface deaths. What did these Ghostface deaths have to do with Scream? Or, I'm sorry, have to do with Samantha, or with Tara, or with Mindy, or with Chad? Like, these Ghostface literally just went on a straight terrorist spree. Like I said, I was having a fear of what the franchise can be coming to, because that's all that he did was commit acts of terror. You went in a convenience store and killed innocent people that was trying to help Tara and Sam. You didn't kill anybody that really... Who did you kill to bother Sam? Usually Ghostface, what they did back in the past was they always terrorized everybody that was involved with Sydney. And that's the thing that this new Scream was missing, especially in Scream 6. Like, nobody died. Anika or Annika, it seemed like, looked like you spell her name Anika, but they pronounced it in the movie Annika. So Annika is the only one that died that was in the group, and who really cared about Annika? Like, who was she? She was Mindy's girl. Like, she had nothing to do with Samantha. And then the other kill that kind of had something to do with Samantha was when Dr. Cezerny got killed. Like, but did Sam really even care? No, she didn't even really want to go to therapy. Like, come on, bro. Like, you didn't do this. Ghostface was supposed to be so different, so amazing, and so outrageous, and they didn't even accomplish the mission. They first, okay, then you get Chad. Chad was stabbed 986 times. 986 times. 3 Ghostfaces. 2 of them was stabbing him, and nobody made sure Chad was dead. So that was another fail. Kirby got attacked off screen. We don't even know if Kirby was really hurt, really attacked, or really nothing. It was all off screen. She just popped back in. Her character was forced into the film. Like I said, everybody, oh, Kirby, she always survived. Yeah, that was when Wes was alive. And even, well, I'm not even going to say even, we're not even going to do what ifs and everything about that. But Wes is not alive anymore. And Kevin Williamson and Radio Silence decided to resurrect Kirby in the absence of Neve Campbell. And you can see how pointless her role was. She was just thrown in there to be used for a twist. Like a plot twist, because it really wasn't a plot twist. It was another twist to that plot twist. But she was just a character that was just in there for bait to be used. Alright, so let's dig a little deeper. Let's go a little further into it. Now, let's talk about Mindy. Now, Mindy was set up pretty good. Now, she got left behind on the subway, as everybody should know by now. And she had to ride the joint by herself. How she got left behind on the subway? Yo, like, it's beyond me. Even in a movie, like, that's still kind of beyond me. Like, but she did. And she got attacked by Ghostface. It was a good little diversion with Ethan being on the train with her and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, their predictions were spot on. Even when Samantha and Tara was talking to Dan and was like, oh, and you just so happened to get assigned to our case, huh? Like, they was spot on. Like, just spot on. Same way they was in Scream 5. Spot on. They should have just stuck true to their gut, because they would have squashed all this. Mindy ended up getting attacked by Ghostface. And the thing is, like, this is the inconsistency that I got an issue with. Like, I wanted Mindy to survive or whatnot, but why is Mindy still alive? Like, this from the opening scene, it was just Ghostface just meat. You feel like an animal. But on the train, Mindy just get a and a walk off. Like, bro, like, what? This Ghostface is so I'm different this time. Like, really? How, dog? You're whack. Like, Roman did this by himself and tripled y'all body count. Like tripled y'all body count. And he did it dolo. And everybody got a problem with me saying Scream 3 is at the top of that damn list. That's why. Because you got 3 ghost faces that couldn't even body as many motherfuckers that Roman did. Like, come on, bro. But y'all just want to see Ghostface running around on screen. Just the mask and a knife in it. It don't matter what the story is. It'll just be accepted regardless. But that's the inconsistency. Mindy could have been squashed. Same way with Chad. Like, his death, he should have died. Like, and I ain't even trying to be funny. No disrespect to the people that's really handicapped or whatever. But we seen, like, Dewey make it out of a lot of movies with a lot of stab wounds. So, and then we seen Dewey hitting the little, however the little walk is. So all I'm saying is if Dewey was doing this, then in Scream 7, when we see Chad, that motherfucker, that he better be walking like that, cause ain't no goddamn way he should have survived that. He either gonna be walking like doing the Harlem Shake Thriller dance, or he need to be in a wheelchair. Because come on, bro, like if y'all gonna keep us being real, and this is why, like we can't. It's no emotional connection to these characters because there's no emotions being put into these characters. Now, I would have felt a little sorrier for the group or whatever if they would have even lost somebody, but they ain't even lose somebody. And this only is it even a year after the last Scream the incidents had occurred or whatnot? So how long was Mindy really with Annika or whatnot? Like, so did she really? I mean, nobody want nobody to die around them, but it wasn't even like a serious tie to that death. And that's just what I'm saying. Now let's fast forward to another reason. Like, in a lot of my Scream ranking videos, a lot of motherfuckers was like, how you got Scream ranked at the top? You got a killer in the film. They was complaining that Roman was revealed as the killer and didn't even have no screen time or wasn't even really in the film. Yo, we just got Ethan and Quinn, and everybody talking about this is so amazing. Yo, and I hate fake out deaths and movie. And I guess I gotta be more detailed with that. Like, these type of fake out deaths, like, I hate in movies. Like, I'm sorry, it was kind of obvious, and I didn't expect it. I didn't think so at first. But like, okay, we didn't see her get attacked by Ghostface. We seen, what's his name, Danny. We seen Danny trying to get her attention, and her just being a dumb blonde, like, and just laying there and freaking just pretending like she didn't see Ghostface or whatnot. But they hear her they thought she was getting smashed or whatnot, but she wasn't getting smashed. She was in that joint faking getting smashed so she can really be getting stabbed. Those two sounds are not Ghostface getting attacked by Ghostface and getting them cheeks clapped. Those are not the same sound effects that would be occurring. But however, during a Ghostface attack, we got cheeks clap sounds. And and then it turned into an alert because of the text or the phone calls or whatever that Danny was trying to get through, and then to Sam, but she didn't answer. And then what's her name? Quinn's, I guess, phone, text them, all of them. And then, but the thing is, they threw the alive body at everybody, right? And even in being in a scared environment, there's no way you gonna throw an alive body at me and I think that person is dead. They had enough time to, it was a lot. First of all, that apartment was real small. They should have whooped Ghostface ass in that scene. Like, it was just so small. They didn't need knives. All one person needed to do was grab his freaking wrist, and they could have cleaned house on Ghostface right then and there in that little ass apartment. But the fake out deaths, they raise a lot of issues for me, especially in Scream 6, because I understand that you a cop, you a detective, you got pulled, you got this, that, and the third. But really, this crime scene got to quickly. All the screams and all the noise, I'm pretty sure that the police got there quickly. And you, your daughter, and your son, y'all all had time to get together and switch this body and do this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. Like, Come on, bro. I mean, I guess what? When they was climbing across the ladder, that gave them enough time to switch bodies. And when forensics and when the police and everybody got there, nobody noticed that this wasn't their boss's daughter. Like, I'm not a cop, but from what I know about armed services, is like when you walk into their offices, they got pictures. When you have family events, they got pictures. Like, they kind of want you to know who their wives are, or husbands, or daughters, or sons. That's like something that's pretty known. So everybody that's up in this apartment putting this body away, assuming that it's Quinn's body. Like, that's just very outrageous. That takes a lot of work, and to me, in my opinion, that's sloppy. Not sloppy. That's lazy writing, because that's something that's really easy to just throw in there and just say, "Hey, this just is the way it's going to go." But the realism behind that is very far fetched. But she was out of the film in like the first act. Like, she was out of the film in the first act. And Ethan really wasn't in the film until halfway through the second act and going into the third act after they started complaining about where he was. So you got two people who was in the film who wasn't even in the film, who was revealed as Ghostface. Now, Dan had screen time. Now, Detective Bailey, yeah, he had screen time. I can't, argue about that. He was in there the whole time, but he was also suspect the whole time. He was suspect because when he was talking about, first of all, when Kirby was like, she up there, she from FBI, she investigating Ghostface, and he like, why? I'm sorry, but in your position, I understand you in New York and Woodsboro is in California and it's halfway across the globe, but I'm pretty sure every police precinct everywhere knows about Ghostface, the Woodsboro murders, and knows those victim names. We all know names that we see on TV and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But you don't know why Kirby Reed is interested in Ghostface attacks. You really don't know that. So right there, that was like a huge red flag for me. It would have been better for me if he'd have been like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You're Kirby Reed from, like, come on now, because you're going to know that. That Ghostface clearly is a national phenomenon, that it has a whole Reddit group of Stab fans that led by Richie and wanting to redo their movie. So it's just like, yo, like man. Now let's jump it on to the part where I say I miss Sydney. I miss Sydney a whole lot. And it all comes from, it's like that character development and that emotion. Like, the original Scream came out in 96, y'all. It's 2023. So those of us that was even alive during the time of that release, so this is a long time development. This is a long time coming. I'm not attached to any of the new school characters, any of them. But when Gail popped up on that screen, that's when that movie got hot. That's when that movie got interesting. They did go a little overboard, I felt like, with the reenactment, of the original, and then having Tara follow up with the punch or whatever, her little ass. Like, Gail didn't even get mad. Like, girl, stop. But yeah, she pop up, and at first I felt like it felt forced. But when they threw Sydney's name in there, but no, it kind of made sense because, it's the way that she came back in Scream 5 to Woodsboro. It kind of is a concern. They did a good job in writing it there. I thought it was kind of forced, but now that I'm thinking about it and redoing the movie in my head, it wasn't really forced at all. But, yo, when they was doing that cell phone trace on Ghostface, and that motherfucker, they said, nah, he ain't here, yo. What's that apartment? And they gave that address, and they looked at each other and was like, Gail's apartment? Oh, that scene from the trailers and everything, it was ready for it, boy. And boy, I'm telling you, that Gail scene was the best scene of the movie. And it wasn't even because of the because she was an OG. Definitely that was a reason why. It was that felt like Scream. This whole movie, I was sitting there. I went to go see Scream by myself. I didn't want no distractions. I didn't want nobody talking to me. And I was sitting there bored. And I go see a lot of movies by myself, yo. I go to the movie by myself like all the time. But like I have a ball. But this time I was bored. I wasn't falling asleep because I was really into the movie. Of course, I wanted to know what was going to happen. But I was bored until Gail popped up, and when that apartment scene popped up, boy, my blood started rushing and everything. Like I knew shit was about to get real. And it did. From the phone call, and the thing about my thing is Ghostface not being an actual villain because he all these different characters. It's really cool that all these personas do their researches like on the previous Ghostfaces. So like when you pick up the phone with Ghostface, it's kind of like you talking to the same person, but you're not. But he was like, oh yeah, we finally get to talk on the phone or whatnot. Since everybody was being all technical with me in my earlier videos when I was like, we finally gonna get to see a phone call from Gail, and everybody was like, oh, well, technically, and Scream 2, he called the phone, but Randy answered. Like, dog, that's not what I said. I said a phone call with Gail talking to Ghostface, not who called whose phone and who ended up answering it. But in the movie, you heard him say it. You heard Ghostface say, oh, we finally get to talk. And boy. But the scene took it back home. It felt like I was watching a Scream movie again. I got bored and I didn't feel like I was watching a Scream movie, is what I was trying to get at a little bit earlier. But I really felt like I was watching a Scream movie then. I'm really upset that her boyfriend didn't have a bigger role. And then when they brought up Sydney's name again, this time it was no like confusion about it being forced, because she survived, of course, and she was like, tell Sydney he didn't get me. And because if Gail would have died, that would have brought Sydney would have came there, like period, point blank. But they wrote it a whole different way, and this was actually good writing. Even though I don't agree with her not being in the film, this was actually good writing with her, keeping her out of the film, because we all know she returned in 5 because of Dewey's death. And this is kind of letting us know and letting the Scream universe within the movie know that, there's no reason for Sydney to try to get her ass here. I'm good. Tell Sydney he didn't get me. So it was like, and for real, that could have been the end of the movie for me. Them scenes could have been like swapped, but they weren't. And then Gail was kind of like, that was it. She was just in like the second act. But that really felt home. No, when Gail discovered the shrine and went to the shrine and they played your boy Dewey's music when they showed Dewey, that was a good one too. That hit home right there. R.I.P. Dewey. But I think it's time to dig into Act 3, so let's just go on to the reveal. Now, the thing with Kirby, like I hinted about a little earlier, kind of pissed me off, because Kirby, I was reporting to everybody that Kirby was only in this film because Nev said no. And I'm kind of sticking to that research that I did, and I'm sticking to my opinion based on how Kirby was used in this film. She wasn't really used at all. It was like she was just a placeholder, and I'm just going to say what everybody probably, like, her acting wasn't good. Like, I don't know what she was trying to come off as, but it just wasn't good. And then, I'm the only one with a gun. You been through a Ghostface killing yourself. You've been through this yourself, but yet you're the only one with a gun. Like, come on, bro. Like, this was kind of forced because they only did that to play into their plot twist. But, realistically, nobody that was a Ghostface survivor ain't going to be like, yo, I'm the only one with this gun and y'all just going to sit here and watch me do it. Like, come on now. We all know that that's not realistic. It did raise suspicion, but at no time did I ever really ever think Kirby was the killer. Not even when Dan called Sam and Tara and was like, y'all need to get out of there because she's setting y'all up. Like, this kind of confirmed for me that Dan was the damn killer. Because I'm sorry. The way that whole thing played out, yo, you should have been there anyway. And like, I just knew shit was about to go down. And then Kirby disappeared from screen again. It was like she wasn't even needed. And then you got, and this is like, I love the part when Chad and when they beat him up, when they start welling on Ghostface, yo. Like, for real, one of them Ghostfaces should have been down and out. But when they stabbed your boy 986 times, that drew some emotion. And, you know, it finally, as bored as I was with the new school characters, like, I'm telling you, that emotion factor, that's important in movies. It's like, if you don't have if you're not drawn to the characters, you don't really give a fuck about what's going on. And that's just how I am. But I finally felt a little bit emotional or whatnot. And I thought your boy was a goner. We already talked about how I feel about him surviving, so we don't need to get into that. Let's just get into the final reveal, because the final reveal was probably the wackest final reveal in Scream history, in my opinion. Why? Because it's three of them. And y'all didn't get to Sam or Tara. Wow. Like, wow. It's three of y'all. Y'all all lined up. It's three of y'all. Oh, excuse me. But it's three of y'all, and nobody, yo, what was going on? Like, what was going on? And then Richie. Y'all already know, yo. Y'all already know. I understand. I totally understand where Scream is going. When it comes to setting up the new trilogy, yeah, it makes sense tying it in with the original trilogy. I totally understand that. I totally get that. However, why is Scream now about Richie? As much as we just sat here and wanted it to be about Samantha and Tara, it's really not. Scream seems to be about Richie's movie. Richie's off-brand stab movie. Because Scream 5 was, I'm doing this for my movie and my ending. And Scream 6 was, we're doing this for Richie's movie, his ending, and his vengeance. So now Scream is about a stab fan. And everybody's saying Scream 6 was like the best one ever. Yeah, won't y'all just watch the stab movies? Won't y'all just watch the stab movies? It's actually a website. It's actually like stab movie. Is it stabmovies.com? I'll do some research. I'll put it in the description. But if you want to watch Stab, go watch Stab. And stop giving Radio Silence and Kevin Williamson this A-OK. This was so amazing for Stab content. We need to get back to Scream content. We need to get back to Ghostface, to murders, to people actually dying, to really all of your friends around you dying, and you really being the only one making it out, along with your core 1, 2, or even your core 4. Build a bigger group around these people and have more people get murked. But Ghostface ain't killed nobody in Scream 6. He didn't. He was an epic fail. 3 people were an epic fail, and I don't call the movie an epic fail, but at first I said that this was better than Scream 5, but no, Scream 5 was better. I give them all the kudos for especially for the new original opening scene. Give you the kudos for it, but Scream 5's opening scene, Tara did the damn thing. Jenny Ortega did the damn thing in that scene. That was the closest thing to Casey Becker that I think we ever going to get, now that I see the direction that the writing is going. So I think we've seen our best scenes already. Make me feel different. But hey, that's what I said. That's how I feel. How do y'all feel about the film? I tried to finally come to y'all face to face instead of the faceless thing. So I hope y'all really enjoy seeing my face or whatnot. But please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And please, because I know, like, what you think? I know about like 98.7% of y'all gonna disagree me and call me all types of names for having a real factual opinion about the film and not just being happy because, oh, Ghostface was on TV screen. Like, no, that's not me. The story is whack. So we know we getting a Scream 7 at this point, but where the are we going with it? Where we going with it? Oh, before I go, this film was supposed to be in New York City. Everybody be honest with me. Please at least do this for me in the comments. If you felt like if this movie gave you New York City vibes, just comment New York City vibes. If it did not give you New York City vibes, just comment Canada, because that's where the film was filmed. All this time, the Big Apple, New York, it's not one time in this movie I felt like we was in New York City. Not one time. I don't care if that you filmed it somewhere else, but you didn't make us feel the Big Apple, not one piece or not one bit. But it was so epic. It was great. We should have just stayed in Woodsboro, because it ain't feel like we was nowhere else. And that's it. I said the outro stuff. Holla at y'all.